Yeah. So there's definitely a need for asserting your boundaries. And that's also like, you can't be part of this. I think part of the healing, the self-healing, is really having to advocate for yourself, set boundaries, stick to those boundaries, feeling like you are honoring yourself in your body. And no matter what you know, how you do it, whether you're having sexual clients or not, like I do a lot of my stuff is like online. And so for me, that's easy. But when it's in person, there's definitely a need to set boundaries, because people come in assuming. People will Google Tantra and come up to my place and think that they're about to do some other shit. And I'm like, honey, you should have just asked me.
Man, let me tell you. Let me tell you. And I keep it transparent. People know, like, I'm just raw, because this is real talk. One couple, honey child, they hired me because the lady was like, the wife, they're married. They were like, oh yeah, you know, my husband, he's real timid and all this other stuff. I just kind of want to loosen him up, you know. I'm like, okay, cool. I can guide you through this method. Da, da, da. And then she gets there and she was like, oh yeah, I was just wondering, do you suck dick? I'm like, hell no. Like, and I didn't mean to say it loud like that. I'm like, wait, okay, I'm a professional. But I was like, I really had to, like, I said, you can say, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, what? Where are we getting? And this is why we're in this work, because we got to set that straight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and there is,
sorry, girl, I got triggered.
that you can't assume. You can't assume. Right. There definitely needs to be permission. There needs to be consent with everything. There needs to be just honoring too, because just because you're dealing with sexuality, sexual energy, automatically is a lack of respect. Like, how the hell did that come about? You got here through sex, so respect your life. So respect the person that's working with that energy, right? It's not about this physical carnal desire. It's about sacred energy. And so being able to work with that and hold space for that energy is definitely it's a spiritual skill. And I say that because you have to maintain it. You got to work on it. I know I have to work on holding space literally in my body and not tensing up or not being uncomfortable. But it works because, like, you know, people come to my space, they feel comfortable. It's easy. Like, they just melt those boundaries. And so I equate that to me working on being able to hold that space and be open, be loved. As soon as you come to me, like, I'm loving, versus before, like, I would not trust you. I'm gonna tense up. I'm not gonna trust you because you're mad. You might want something from me. And that all comes through the process of learning yourself, asserting yourself, loving yourself.
It does. Yeah. No, absolutely. And see, even regardless if you're a practitioner or you would like to learn this, you know, for the intimacy of you and your partner, you know, just even within the relationship, even though there's intimacy that you've had that you're not going to have like with any other person, but respect and boundaries are still important. You know what I mean? Like, especially, you know, it's like through this work, it teaches you and expands you in other areas in life, in career and finance, you know, emotionally, mentally. And so, like you were saying, being able to hold that space, it is sacred, you know, and the most important thing is some of the most intimate moments can be without penetration of the penis and the vagina, you know, and it's like
that's really
a lot of couples. Yeah. And a lot of couples I know, working with some people who've been like married 20, 30 years, like it sizzles away. You know, like, so what do you do? Because we've been trained on this physical, two bodies just coming together and rubbing against each other to you. No, like there's more to that, you know? So the purpose of us getting together and y'all coming to this retreat in LA is because we have to learn this sacred art. And it's not just sexual healing, it's generational healing, it's emotional healing, it's spiritual healing, mental healing.
Consciousness it's holistic. That's why I call it holistic, because it's literally working on the physical level, the mental level, emotional. And that's really a big thing too, right? Emotional stability. Specifically in our community, anger is like a poison that's just locked in our tissues.
It is.
And even just touching a black body is harder, it's firmer. It holds a lot of tension in certain places too.
Especially our men. Well, I'll say women too. Yeah.
And the women too. There's certain areas where we hold tension, and those areas say fear. They say survival. Right? So what we're working on is learning to release that ourselves. It's not just about you coming to you, the healer, right? And you're gonna do the work, and then you go home, and it's all done. It's about you learning it for yourself, making it a daily practice, because it comes and goes. Like, you're not just gonna heal from something that's gone forever. There's you're gonna need to maintain. You're gonna be triggered once in a while. You're gonna need to know what to do.
Yeah.
Right. To get yourself out of that funk.
Emotional intelligence.
Exactly. Yeah. And I
yeah.
workshop on that.
Yeah, I do. Well, it's like really, I have this program, Sacred Sexuality Rites and Passage program, and it's for both people who just are coming to heal and learn for themselves, and then people who want to move forward and like work on others. But emotional intelligence is big. And then also too, you know, understanding, like you said, when I'm angry, but why? You know what I'm saying? Where is it coming from? And my thing is, do I have to allow myself to get angry when stuff like this happens? Because we're not taught scientifically what that's doing to the body. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We're not taught how, okay, when we're triggered, what is a trigger? It means that your body is remembering something that happened long ago. And then when a situation that feels familiar, you know, now you're in this mode. And see, a lot of our arguments in relationships are based on triggers. It really ain't had nothing to do with you. It has something to do with somebody else like years ago. But we're not emotionally, and we're not trained. We're not trained to say, okay, she's going in right now. Is it really this situation, or is she lacking validation? Is she lacking attention? Is she, you know, is he really feeling like this, right? Or is his ego hurt? Is he feeling he's not enough?
Like, why are you
right.
Yeah, what do you need?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I froze again. Now this is a crazy face. I can't do this. Wait a minute. Let me exit.
Dating next. And dating is something that I have a lot of experience with. Riziki has a lot of experience with. I have a lot of experience with counseling with dating. And a big thing, big issue with that is connection. And my point is, I think people are actually going through the motions of dates, hanging out, getting to know each other. But in that space, it's not a real space. You're just going through these motions. And so in reality, you're just kind of dating this facade. You're not dating this real person. So what I want to do, which is something I've done for myself, is open up real space when you just meet somebody. Like, it doesn't have to be small talk. I don't do small talk. If you try small talk with me, I'm gonna ignore you. So I have to start off deep. I'm gonna ask you some deep shit, make you think, and then we're gonna go from there. And I felt so much better doing it that way. Had a lot more juicier, soul fulfilling connections that way. Even if I don't like you, it has nothing to do with me wanting to date you and like you, but just connecting with the real person through their compassion, through their spirit, through their struggles. Like, all that feels so much better. Riziki, I'm gonna bring you back. Yep, open real space. Exactly. Let's bring Sister Riziki back in.
Yeah, I have to make sure my face stays like in a
just in case
it freezes like yeah, but okay, that was deep what you said. Pretty much like dating the representative, right?
Avatar.
Okay, man, let me tell you something. So, okay, there's this book, Hands of Light, and it's called Character Structures, right? And what happens is, you know, since birth up until today, you know, based on certain experiences that a person has been through, they've developed a personality based off those experiences. It doesn't mean that it's who they are when they came into this existence. It means that their person is built off these experiences that happen. And a lot of times what's built is a protection mechanism, is a wall, is a inauthentic to protect the authentic, right? Yeah. So when we come into dating, that is a lot of times what happens when we're dating. Hands and Light or care. Okay, it's the book is called Hands of Light, and the thing is called Character Structures. Gosh darn it! This freaking freezing. No, it's not.
Like this, Dottie.
Oh my God! Like, yeah, you like it, don't you? Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm gonna exit out. Do your thing. I'm gonna come back in.
Okay, but you. So if you guys can get that, it's Hands of Light. It's about character structures, and that's what our learned experiences are. We have these behaviors. It's all patterns. We have behaviors that we've learned from our experiences, and like a lot of times, like Riziki said, our experiences are traumatic, or it says to us, let's protect so that doesn't happen again. And it happens on a cellular level, even on a DNA level, right? So we start to build this walls up, these protections around vulnerability. think of vulnerability as your turtle, and your shell is the self that you put out there to protect the softest part of you, which is the turtle, the flesh, right? And so what we do, you know, with our work is we work on ourselves, and you work on getting rid of pieces of that shell. It just flakes off. And it's not like it's just like, woo, you enlightened. But slowly you start to feel more and more like yourself. You feel more and more real, more like you're doing what you want, more like you're saying what you want, and you're responding the way that you want. Because a lot of times those are the exact things that we respond to other people, right? Those are the things that we change in order to protect our most vulnerable self. So we gotta flake off that shell. That sounds, you know what, I'm very visual, and I'm seeing the tortoise shell just like flaking off, and that's not a good thing. So I'm gonna change that visual. I like animals. Let me see if Riziki, okay, she's back. And there we go. I love all these hearts. Like, I know it's like the little thing that technology does to you, but I'm just getting a little like dopamine flutters, like, ooh, hearts.
Oh my God, yes.
Too.
Yeah, I know. That's so thoughtful, everyone. Thank you so much. But yeah, the dating. One lady asked a 20-year gap. You know, here's the thing. Was the gap like, you know, by choice, or like you really shut yourself off from being available, you know? Because sometimes what happens is it's the belief systems. Like sometimes when we can get into the space of love ain't real, or, you know, just these negative belief systems that discourage us from making us available for dating. And sometimes too, it's the fear of getting hurt. So we'll sabotage ourselves from even experiencing. And so, right. So if it's by choice, okay. So the choice, were you cleansing? Was it for like this enlightenment journey, or was it to protect yourself? Because you said, I don't want to get into a relationship because I don't want to be hurt. And see, that's when you're living from a fear-based mentality. Limiting. You know, you know, fear-based mentality. And my thing is, you know, that comes with attachment, possession. You know, that comes with, you know, us being romanticized about what relationships and love is. Like, okay, so enlightenment journey. Okay, cool. So, hey, if that's what it was, then great. So if you want to get back into it, you know, hey, I would just say tread slowly. I don't know, like
after 20 years.
Yeah, that's, whew, girl, that's,
well, that's kind of like,
I don't know, but as far as
celibacy for spiritual, you know, spiritual reasons.
Yeah.
And I really think it's just based off of turning your focus from you know, physical satisfaction to spiritual satisfaction, so that you can really fill up on what that feels like and get the benefits of that without the distraction of, you know, the physical. But that's also due to the fact that we don't know how to use sexual energy and sex as part of our enlightenment and our healing practice, and that's exactly what we're doing. So that's exactly what it's an option. And really the way that we're wired naturally, we naturally should be taking the option that allows us to use our sexual energy, because it's part of our whole being. To cut it off, I think, is the harder route for, you know, our natural urges, our natural desires to procreate, to mate, to connect, right? We're communal animals. So and I
tell you, I give a fist in the air to anybody, because I'm telling you, I am not taking 20 years off.
Girl, I can really take 20 minutes.
Hey, listen, hey, you know, no, I'm just fine. It's not that bad, but it's because it's a beautiful energy. But here's the thing. Again, this is what I learned. Some people came on this planet where that's just not a focus. You know what I'm saying? For some people, that's just their life.
Yeah, different perspectives.
Yeah, that's just their life. So, you know, but and this is why the knowledge of self is important, because some women and some men have just shut themselves down sexually because of just negative belief systems. And then that is when things in the body develop, you know, all kinds of health issues, and even just your ability to relate with the opposite sex or same sex, whatever, you know, it's a lot. So if you're not using it physically, transmute it, learn to transmute it, because it's still creative energy. What are you creating with
Manifest, you can use it to heal your body, send that energy to your head for a headache, send it to your back if your back is tense. right? So we use that orgasmic energy all over the body, and that's the beauty of it. Like, we have this power, so let's learn to harness it.
Yeah, and that is why y'all need to bring your butts to LA. I can't wait. Like, I've never been to the West Coast. I gotta buy an official pair of Chuck Taylors while I'm out there. The shamanic dance drumming. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. The bonfire. Okay, yeah, the workshops. Let's get into the workshops because I'm excited. The lingam massage, we got yoni massage, we got awakening the archetypes. Oh wow. And
we have the healing circle. We're gonna be doing the healing circle. That's really good. So we have an agenda that's mixed up with workshops and learning, but then we also have things that are fun. At the same time, you can be fun. You can also connect. That's definitely have a full agenda for you guys. Good food. But in the end, the goal is for you to leave fed, with your soul fed, right? Having an experience that you know, like, it was special, it was unique, and you met people that you don't ever want to lose contact with. That's usually what happens, right? Like, that's what happened with us.
It does.
We went to one retreat and we was like,
I know it's like a soul tribe, but it's a certain kind of connection that happens when you witness each other's healing. Exactly. That's a special bond because
it's the most vulnerable.
It's real, it's authentic, you know, and maybe this is TMI, but y'all know I'm transparent. I did a particular ceremony where I was just purging out of every hole except my ears. Okay. So my thing was, even though I was like, oh my God, I had to keep going to the bathroom and but the thing is like, but I didn't feel embarrassed. And everybody was like, girl, boo, like, that's just what happens, you know? And it's like, that's just a bond, you know, even in the tantric circles or the workshops when we're crying together or we're holding space for somebody or laughing together, you know, it's amazing and it's needed. And I think that's how nations continue to thrive, you know what I'm saying, because of the bond of healing and community, you know. Like, not every hole, I said just every hole except my ears. It was crazy. But go ahead. But I felt great afterwards. It was amazing. Okay.
So yeah, I've done the same thing. I've been in spaces where I have been the yoni massage model. So imagine me, you know, legs spread open in the most vulnerable space. Went through my whole thing, the whole healing process in front of, you know, everybody. And so like, after that, I felt so at home. I'm like, if y'all don't love me and respect me, accept me after being out with me with all that, like, you, right? So it was the most like realist thing I felt. And so after that, what happens is it allows you to experience it so that you can take it home, because a lot of times we don't know how that feels or what that looks like until we experience it. Right. So it's like, I got this. Okay, so now I know, like, when I go home, I'm going to communicate differently. I'm going to approach people differently, tolerate different, you know, behaviors towards myself, assert myself, advocate for myself, and that begins to transform the space around you. So that whatever you experienced in this space that was so healing, so beautiful, now it's in you, and now you're the light, and now you take that out, and it multiplies. So exactly, and it's empowering. Like, even I was a yoni massage model too, and I was like, oh, y'all better buy me dinner. Y'all done saw my hoo-ha. Just you know, we're all in a relationship. But there was another ceremony that I went through. It's called G-spot activation, actually, but not to say like this is what we're doing, but the work in Tantra is why this is important, because a lot of women, like, we have we have this underlying fear of men because of what we've been through, right? So like you were saying, sometimes we get a little intimidated, and in this work I found that a lot of women want to work with women because of that, right? Because of, I'm scared of a man, and then there's all the other stuff. And so I had went through the ceremony where, you know, I'm like completely just naked and I'm blindfolded, right? And there's men but they're practitioners. There's 3 to 4 men, and one's like helping clear my head, one's working on my heart, other one's moving energy. And as
I've been through, you know, sexual abuse and everything, but to be in that space where I'm naked, vulnerable, blindfolded, and absolutely nothing bad happens to me,
yeah,
totally reset my experience.
Yeah.
You know, and not to say women do that or you have to experience that, but understanding that the same thing that traumatized you, sometimes it takes experience to reset that negative belief system that created that fear in the first place. So coming to retreats, coming to workshops, taking classes, these are opportunities and spaces for you to learn, as well as men, because a lot of men been traumatized too.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like, if we want to heal, we have to come to spaces to practice these modalities, to practice, you know, whatever, meditation, the yoga, the energy work, whatever. Like, we have to have spaces to practice. Yeah.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody wants to weigh in.
That's momentous. Okay. Can you add a third person in the chat? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, deal with that fear head on. I say, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that, you know, it is the best kind of remedy. But not everybody, you know, is built the same. Some people have to take baby steps. Some people are just straight shooters. And you have to respect that because everybody has their own process. Yeah. Everybody who enters this work, like, some move faster than others. Some don't want to be practitioners. They just like, I want to heal myself. And that's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
And that's one thing I used to feel like I was babying my clients, because I'm like, you know what, like, if this is too hard for you, like, do this instead, or, you know, skip that this week. And but it's really worked, because in the end, they've made a lot of growth because I've allowed them to do it at their pace, and I make them feel like they have to do this, or you're not ahead enough, or, you know, you're not doing this as fast as, you know, as you should progress. And just that encouragement that you go at your pace. You do what's comfortable for you. That's how you set a safe space within yourself. If we have fears, if we have, you know, this trauma in our bodies, and we go just throw ourselves into something without feeling ready, without feeling like it was a full yes, then it's gonna re-traumatize us, create some more tension and fear. So it's important to trust yourself, listen to yourself, and go at your pace.
Absolutely. So we're all about creating safe spaces.
Yep. And what we're doing at the retreat is something that's for everybody of all levels. It's not, you know, a master level. It's for anybody that has a consideration for the overall health and is interested in tapping into energy, and to tapping into that medicine and that self-healing, and knowing how to, you know, empower yourself and take care of yourself and heal yourself. And, you know, from that, and like, it just blossoms. And that's like the best thing I can think of it, because it happens, you know, it trickles at its own pace. But it really does open you up to be more of you. You know, decoding all those no's.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So I'm excited. So definitely on Eventbrite, latantra.eventbrite.com.
The link is in my bio.
It. Oh yes, absolutely. So definitely check that out. Somebody asked about group transcendence. How do we feel about that? You know, that's like a whole other topic. I definitely will say, oh, yay. Okay, Calvin Mitchell. Yeah, you better come to LA. It's going to be great. So, yeah. So group chanting, I'm going to say this. That's a different topic. All I know is I've been in healing spaces, and sometimes things have been done in groups, and one person may have some stuff going on that the rest of the people in the groups don't need to be a part of. So you got to be mindful of that. Like, that's, I don't want to get into that topic.
Energetically compatible group.
Yeah.
Just throw a bunch of people together and have them and get this.
No, that's why
we have these spaces, because eventually you do curate these people that are able to do that, able to hold that kind of space together.
Exactly.
We got to start somewhere.
Yeah, we definitely do. And what we call it, or in our training, is like that's the shamanistic kind, because you have certain energies or emotions, whatever you want to call it, that people may have just tucked deeply in the corners of themselves, and through certain healing methods, it comes out. You know, the church would call it like an exorcism or possession or something like that. But like, I don't like using those words, because it's like, you know, it scares people off. It's energy. It's all energy. Yeah. So like, when we're doing the group things, we have to be mindful of that, you know. So we want things to be on a high vibration. So yeah, I've noticed similar modality in the swinger culture. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely not swinging culture at all. So
clarification.
Yeah, clarification, disclaimer.
This opens up let's do a last point, because it's one of the things that I want to talk about as far as the Tantra community and people that are interested in Tantra. It's all about your intention. That's the first question on my questionnaire when you want to work with me, is what is your intention? What do you want out of this?
Yeah.
What are you looking for? And because it's dealing with sexuality, Tantra overall is an avenue for perversion. And perversion is not just, sex for me. Perversion is things that are non-consensual, that are just carnal, that have nothing to do with spirituality. You just want to fuck and get off. Yes. So we're not trying to do any of that. You can do that in your own space, on your own time.
Yeah.
Tantra is not about fucking and getting off. It is about spiritual enlightenment, spiritual growth. Yeah. It's about connecting and tapping into that power of connection so that we can manifest that, we deserve, that we can have.
And activating, empowering the parts in yourself that have been suppressed and dormant, returning back to the authentic you before trauma, before people told you, or whoever told you who you were. That's what Tantra about. And see, through all of that comes better orgasms, because you're more confident, you're more aware, you're more willing to please, you're more willing, you're more open, you're more willing to receive. So so that's my spill.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with the swinger community. Like, you should be doing what you want with your body, but there is definitely a need, especially in my experience, to set that boundary and that differentiation that all Tantra is not the same, and that it's a word that's going around. Anything with sex, you can put Tantra on it. Tantric cookies, like what you want to do, like, and so be aware of your intention. So if you do want to have, let's say, a tantric sexual experience with somebody, then make sure that that person actually has sex with people, and that it's not like a coach that doesn't actually do that. And don't assume, ask and be respectful about that. And that's all we ask, is with respect, and awareness, and communication.
Absolutely.
But that's what we're cultivating. We're cultivating men that can hold that space. You can be in a space with me naked and still honoring and respect me. And not want to in any of my holes. Like, that's the kind of man
exactly. And that's where we got to get to, because the hypersexuality is out of control. And when I experienced that, me being completely bucket ball naked, blindfold, and then like after I got worked on and healed, I was not expected to do anything. Nobody expected to go in any of my holes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is just, and one thing that really got me comfortable was sweat lodges, because the sweat lodges here in Atlanta, some of them, at least the ones I've hosted, are clothing optional. So it's a very tribal environment anyway. Like, I don't want to have on clothes in the sweat lodge. I want to be naked, and it should be okay. Like, because there's a naked body doesn't mean it has to be sexualized. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we really have to get away from that.
Changing that whole perspective.
Changing the perspective. So yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do you prefer?
I
don't use narcotic agents.
See, I know where he's getting at. I don't call them narcotic agents. They plant medicine, because plants are not narcotics. It's not a narcotic.
Okay? Yeah, that's what got me.
It's not a narcotic at all. So I'm not going to get deep into this answer. But when it is done by a qualified shaman and with healing intentions, I'm all for it. And I've done some plant medicine ceremonies, and it was very healing for me, so I don't recommend it for anybody, so that's that. So that's all I gotta say about that.
All right, so if you guys have any questions about that, you can DM me or Riziki, and the link for the tickets is in my bio after the retreat. So after the 29th, you'll be able to actually book us for a personal session.
Yes.
Yeah.
I froze again, but it's okay.
It's like I like that face. It's like a nice happy.
I'm happy in this picture. It's okay.
Thank you for joining me, Riziki. Of course, it was wonderful talking
yes,
to you.
Thank you for having me, sis. And thanks everybody. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We definitely got to do another one and get a little bit more juicier.
Los Angeles, we have a retreat coming up April 26th through the 29th. Join me and my sister Riziki Zafira from ATL. She's a shamanic Tantra practitioner. We're going to join forces in the hills of LA for the Tantra Revolution Retreat. This is geared towards the Black, Brown community and working with our healing, our needs for community and empowerment.